Give me a second. I'm going to.
Sure. Yeah.
We can't always be bound by that clock. That thing that we say that time is relative. Well, you know, but anyway, welcome everybody. It is Wednesday, I do believe, as I'm getting the bus going. So y'all talk amongst yourself, smoke them if you got them, and I'll just speak favor over you. On this day, we're going to have fun. This is going to be a continuation of the phenomenal interview that we had 2 weeks ago with JD. That was, the buffering thing. I think that was intentional. Just going to tell you. Gnosis of the truest form is something that they don't want out there. They don't want it out broadcast because then other people begin to see it. So anyway, favor over us all, nothing missing, nothing broken. I say it all the time because I create what I speak. And so, yeah, so if it's here, that's cool. But I have a sense that it's also bridging something over there. But anyway, thank you to all the moderators and all the rest of folks, because we're going to have a strap in, folks. That's all I got to tell you. It's going to be fun. So there is a new person with us because I thought the balance of the feminine needed to be more, kind of interesting point of view. I mean, just JD, I mean, I think you can agree with that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. And I love Nina so much. So, of course.
See, that's my point. By the way, I've put both of their contacts information underneath. Thanks, Nina, for supplying that. And if you're not subscribed, you should be. And that's the best way of saying, hey, really, really dig what you got to say. Because it's a different perspective. And I think it's really good. So, Nina, thank you for being on, hon. How have you been? Haven't seen you in a little bit.
I know, it's been a minute. Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, doing great.
Yeah. Well, you're looking beautiful as ever. So, still got that smile.
Yeah.
Love that.
Thank God.
Well, love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Max Vision is in here. How you doing, brother? A lot of people in here. So, I'll say hi to y'all. Hey, Ballot, how you doing? So, JD, talking to you. You are not where you were because you are somewhere else, but where you are is what you were talking about. So, good to see you again. And why don't you tell us where you are and what's going on?
I am at my two dear brothers' home. These are fellow sorcerers and business partners of mine. I mean, we do everything together, as far as like our spiritual path goes. And I'm talking about J.S. Garrett and Ruric Douglas. They are Lawless Metaphysics, which you can see back here behind me.
I get it. I totally get it. I told him when I first saw that, I said, I got that. I mean,
yes. And that is really, it's like the essence of Belial, Poseidon, like he is the lawless one. And, we are certainly living in a world where we we like the control mechanisms and everything that are in place. This is all about freeing yourself from all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but so I'm up here.
I mean, what is the experience of life for? If it's, isn't amazing? And I know I'm digressing here, but it just adds to the conversation. And Nina, if you ever have something, just jump right on in. The water is just fine. But we live our lives in a confined boundary. And we're allowed to see, if you want to take it from a metaphysical point, I guess 4 different points of view, 5 if you look them forward, but that's it. The lawless aspect, I remember Paul said in his writings that lawlessness is a law unto itself. And I went, So I went, well, okay. Well, what does that mean? He also said that everything is permissible. Not all things are profitable. So anyway.
And so yes, so I'm here in Georgia with them, and in the mountains. It's freaking beautiful here. I really
Snowing?
needed the energy to get like to be renewed, and I do feel renewed being here. And so I'm going to be really spending a lot of time here between Richmond, between Washington D.C., and between Georgia and Utah as well. We know there's going to be a lot going on. This place where we are here now is a beautiful retreat center where you will be able to come and work with me directly, work with Ruric, work with JS, experience live, hands-on, real. Well, it's black magic, baby. Okay. And just is what it is, but it's freaking beautiful and it will change your life. Absolutely. And, it's if it's something that you can't come here and meet us in person, then you can connect with us through the mechanisms of our group rituals that we offer in one-on-one rituals. But, healing, magical ritual, there's other elements involved that will really help to help you ascend spiritually and to access those higher planes of consciousness. Working with me, that will happen for you. I can't really explain like everything to you because of course, like it's so crazy. I don't even fully understand it, but I do know that I have something. I don't know what it is exactly, but I have a gift and I will certainly share it with each and every one of you. It's not something to be entered into lightly, though. I will tell you that because it will change your life and your reality. Absolutely, it will. It's not a movie, but it's a lot like a movie. If you want your life to be like a movie, like get involved with me and these guys and Nina too. Like she'll tell you, like Nina performs real freaking powerful magic. Yeah. She does.
And I got to be candid. I did not know that to the depth. So, Nina, you've been awfully quiet. So here's an opportunity because, well, a lot of people are going to be hearing this. And I think probably some are going to say, well, that kind of makes sense, but others will probably go, I had no idea. So the two of you have worked before and successfully.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll let y'all pick it up from there. I mean, I think this is cool. This is really far out.
Do you want to start it off, Nina, and talk about things, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I don't know where you want to go with this, but yeah, we kind of met. We kind of came on the scene, I think, around the same time, like way back. It's been years now. So yeah, very interesting. I guess our common place will be Become a Living God. For those who know what that is, it's not for everyone, obviously. It is a little bit out there, but it is definitely effective. It works. It's real, and it's.
So let me ask the two of you on this because the question, because I got a number of emails from the first time you were on JT.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, and when you see a cognitive disconnect, then you got something, because it was like, what the freak is what? So when you talk about being out there, what are we talking about? Because there has to either be a fear or an aversion. And that is something that probably goes against what people have in their core beliefs that form their matrix.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about when we say out there?
I mean, I feel like that we are absolutely opening portals and gateways that are bringing in different dimensional realities and overlapping them with this one. Like when you really get into this and you open yourself up to these entities, these infernal divines, these demons. I mean, these demons are ancient gods. They are ancient gods.
Let's talk about that. Can we get into it a little bit?
Yes.
So, I've had people, the Christians that we knew in my past life, they turned me over to the devil, quote unquote. But I know that demons is what we've construed in a modern day false belief systems. These, I call them the divine ones.
Yeah. And that's what absolutely what they are. I
Yeah.
mean, I have a lot of background in religion. I have, like I told you like last time we talked, I mean, I've been to Baptist church, Presbyterian church, Nazarene, Catholicism.
We got to talk,
heavily
JD, in
converted.
another time, because it'd be interesting to talk on a theological, like for Baptists.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, this is so far to the extreme. I mean, you're one step from them putting you up to the stake.
Yeah.
But anyway, I
absolutely.
digress.
I mean, if I lived in a different day and time, I mean, I know that, my life would be in danger way more than it is now. And you don't think it's not now? Yeah, it is. I know people are watching me. I know people knowing what I do.
How y'all doing?
And I know it's just a matter of time, but I also know that they can't hurt me and they can't cage me. We'll get into that later on too, but they'll try to do it. They're going to try. And you know that. I know that too. I know my day is coming at some point, but I know that they're not going to be able to touch me too, but I know they're going to try. But anyway.
So and then that's the thing about it is, and I always found the interesting thing about the Solomon keys, that these deities, he recognized that. And the question I was curious, I'd like to ask both of you, when I talked yesterday about the soul, about a spirit actually possessing a soul, I came in my thought was immediately, well, then, is the soul unique to what we are, as opposed as to those residents that are in the ethereal realm all the time?
It's a hard one to answer, and it goes so deep, and
I know. Well, I got a rope, and it only goes 300 feet, and after that, we're on our own.
and when you open yourself up to the, like, I hope, Wayne, that we'll get to meet in person one day, and I can perform a ritual for you and your wife too, if you like, but like to really experience this. If you think you've had a religious experience or a spiritual experience, I can guarantee you I will blow the lid off of anything you've ever experienced. And it's not me. I'm just opening the doorway here, and I am just calling these energies forth, and I have the ability to do that, as well as my brother Ruric Douglas and J.S. Garrett and Nina too. We have the ability. Once you tap into this, they will come into this reality and really show you something at a deep soul level that you cannot deny. And it is something that once you experience it, you begin to remember like who you are and like where you come from, and that this is right. This is just this. There is nothing wrong with this, not at all. And that is too, like, once you engage in that way, then you really do begin to see the bull crap lie that religion is, and what it's been doing to you, what it's doing to the world, what it's doing to the children, what the blood that's been shed, the atrocities that are too numerous to name. And like, it's still happening. It's still happening. And like, that is sad. And what is this all about? Liberating yourself, liberating your soul, experiencing true spiritual freedom instead of oppression. That's the thing, is that like, these people, they don't even realize that they're being oppressed and that they're slaves. And I'm sorry, I don't want to use this language, but how else are we going to describe the reality of what's happening to you in our world? It is what it is.
What's the benefit to a person? Because I mean, I had someone actually write this and said, what's the benefit of an individual to be exposed to this type of knowledge, but to take that leap of faith and say, all right, because no matter how you look at it, there's no safety net here. Let me just tell folks that there is no, so you take that step and there ain't no turning back.
That's right. And you have to be afraid, and you got to lean into that.
So
I'm
what is
still
the
afraid.
benefit to an individual to take that first step?
Really,
What are the spirits going to do? Are they going to require something of us, or is this?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. They are definitely going to require something from you, and they always do. And it's things that don't serve you in the first freaking place. You know, what do they want? What do they want? They want you to liberate yourself from the shadows that dominate your reality, the things that you've been through, your trauma in the past that you hold on to, that's the real evil. That's the real demons, the ones that, like, yeah, they've helped shape and mold you into who you are now. But like, there's certain things that you don't need to hold on to anymore that are actually hurting you. And that is what they help to unlock inside of yourself, and to identify these dark things, these really dark things, these things that you gave license to a long time ago that are now like wreaking havoc in your life, that you continue to perpetuate and engage in. And sometimes you don't even know it. And they have a way of bringing these things to the light, you know, like that is what Lucifer's all about, going in there and shining that light in the shadows and the things that try to hide from you forever. And that is what really kills people and takes them away from this place in a bad way, is those things that hide within. And that is really ultimately, it's shining the light on truth. On the truth, you know, and like, these things are hard to visit. These things are hard to go in there and take a look at it. Most people do not want to look at it. They want to run from it. They want to run to that God and say, save me from myself. Like, no, you are not getting out of this one, buddy. Like, the only way out is through. And that is what these spirits will help you to do, to navigate that path. They will walk not in front of you, not behind you, beside you, and show you how to walk like a man, how to walk like a woman, how to freaking move forward in your power, right?
Yeah, so you were talking, JD, you know, that there was a transformation that took place within me, you know, when I was doing the Liber Lilith, and she visited twice. My life, it was not my life. There was something within the spirit aspect of me. There was a profound change because, well, number one, when you handwrite an old book like that, and there's heavy incantations in there, but the knowledge is what liberated myself, because for the first time, I'm hearing the story of what in the former life I had, where I only heard one story.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of accusations on the other side that they were responsible for this and this and this, but I never heard their side of it. And the thing about it is, we're all indoctrinated as we come in here for some reason, that you're going to only hear one particular side, and it has many different shades, many different variation, but it's still the same story that's going to point to the fear that there's a knowledge that you shouldn't know of. Because once you know it, there's no way of ridding yourself.
Yes. And that is the thing with this too. Yes. Once you know, and once you see, yeah, you're not undoing that. And
no, you're not.
For some people, that's a tough pill to swallow, but it's needed. It's needed. It's needed.
Nina, what about yourself? I mean, there's obviously, you know, a path here that I have to say, I'm just pleasantly surprised the depth of that. So talk a little bit. I mean, what was your challenge in taking that step?
Well, coming out of Christianity, of course, I got a huge background in that as well. Actually, matter of fact, the Baptist church is where I was. So
that's what I'm talking about.
You know, so once I, got out of that, of course, I went complete opposite. I want to go and check out the complete opposite, of course. It's the first thing I'm going to do. And that's kind of where I stayed. Now, going back to what you guys were talking about, you got to remember that these beings are, like you said, ancient gods. but they, have been demonized by the church. The church doesn't want you to know about them. Matter of fact, one of the first things that God said was, there's no other gods before me,
Bingo.
which really he's telling you that there is other gods then, isn't he? Right? There's not just him. And if you go and read into the beginning of the Bible, actually, they talk about Azazel was right there with Yahweh. They were making sacrifices to both of them. They were hanging out. They're buddies.
And they still do. They still do
it. Right? But the Christians, they can't even read that whole section. They'll just bypass that. It's kind of like the Baptist church bypassed the whole thing about speaking in tongues. Oh no, we're not allowed to talk about that. We're not even going to mention that. Like they pick and choose whatever it is that they want, right? And so once you can get it past that, you'll see, oh, okay, they're not as bad as they are made out to be, essentially. So,
and you know what I find so funny? What I find so hilarious is that, like, all of these church leaders, and like especially the Vatican and all of them, hey, the Vatican is doing some really effed up things, but
no, that's
but like who like anyone that is ultra powerful in this world now, they can work with some of these spirits in a foul way. They're going to pay the price for that, as you know. But like, what do you think everyone's doing? Hello, who do you think everyone is working with? Hello, like, no, it is all behind the scenes, and it's happening. It is happening, Jack. Trust me.
And for myself, I got to tell you, it's becoming more and more difficult to continue to see, and I call it part of the God spell. These people are literally under a spell.
Yes.
And you see this. I mean, I don't have fear of Lucifer. I don't have fear of Lilith. I mean, to me, they got hosed. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
And, when I found their story, my journey in search of Lucifer, Satan, to find out, all right, so if these are these bad mofos, I mean, obviously they must have a rap sheet somewhere, right? Some things that they said. I couldn't find anything that validated the indictment that had been put against them. Mm-hmm. And once I said, screw this, I said, I still contend my 50 years in Christianity was my initiation. And that's what it was. It was an initiation that I wasn't even aware of, at least on one level, maybe on a higher level. And what I've come to find out, it's respect. And what I don't have is any respect for the former consciousness that occupied the penthouse of my esteemed estate.
And I think that
I evicted
him. I'm sorry, Wayne.
No, I just said I evicted the sorry ass. I said, get your ass out of here.
I think that people, need to just take a step back and remember that Yahweh, this God that has been placed upon a pedestal through Christianity, that's not the creator. That's not who created you. Okay. And you need to remember that one. Okay?
Well, this son of a bitch cursed us.
Yeah.
I can't find Satan or Lucifer ever cursing humanity. I can't find any of the divine ones who have ever cursed humanity. But I have it written in a book that this son of a bitch went out there and literally not did it once, but cursed the earth, cursed us, cursed woman. I mean, and yet you want me to sacrifice my worship?
And look at how many people have,
hit the road, you asshole.
How many people have died, and how many people have been literally sacrificed, and how much blood has spilled in the name of that deity, in the name of Allah. Like, do you know and realize like why all of that blood is being spilled? To empower that deity, to empower that the energy of it here. There has been so many blood sacrifices in the name of so much innocence, so many. how many, I can probably count on one hand how many times that's happened in the name of Lucifer or Satan. Actually, yeah, there are some sick people that have done some bad things, a few bad apples.
Yeah.
There has been literally billions with a B, probably trillions with a T, of people that have died in the name of Allah, in the name of Yahweh. Think about it.
Well,
They don't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, beginning of Christianity, that's what it was like. You either convert or, right? We were forced into it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was either your head or, compliance. And the thing about it is, and all of us can relate to this, when I started finding out who Baal was, and actually started reading outside the canonized word that, you only were allowed to go so far, because after all, you're not smart enough to understand this. And you trace this thing back. And then here, I'll just tell you what sealed the coffin for me were the Sumerian tablets. Where the hell's Yahweh in there? I read about Enki. I read about Enlil. I read about I mean, I can't find this Yahweh character in the religion that was or the record of nearly 2,000 years.
And from what I understand from it then is, and I know this may not be entirely accurate, but that Yahweh is really Ares, which is a god of war, which was a popular god that was worshipped by Roman soldiers for a very long time. They needed something to use as their figurehead in this new religion that they were going to be using. And Ares, the god of war. Oh, yes, let's use that one. And so do people even realize in Christianity what they are actually worshiping? A god of war. Oh, yeah, go fucking figure that one, right? Look at the world and what's happening. Oh, yeah, we're definitely in it.
Well, I mean, we're about to experience the Easter celebration. And yet no one will actually, and once you do, you're going, are you serious? I mean, so Easter is the goddess of prostitution. Okay, I get the eggs now. I mean, I totally get it. But so getting back to this whole, I've been challenging any Christian that there are a few that drop in. I said, so tell me, is the New Testament God the Old Testament God? Because
seems different, doesn't it?
What? Yeah, I don't even think we're in the same galaxy. I mean,
maybe it's got split personalities or something. It's not.
Well, you think about an angel. I mean, there are people who are Christians who invoke and worship, Gabriel, Michael, but those two characters, their rap sheet where human blood is concerned is deep. I mean, deep. And again, I can't find these demons in any incident where they're coming down at the command of their God, this case Yahweh, the Father, and goes and wipes out 180,000 men, horses, everyone. And you're telling me that I'm wrong pursuing stuff of the black magic, going into the occult? Really? Because I don't know. Maybe it's just me, Nina. I'm looking at this and I'm going, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is the epitome of the definition of ignorance, but it's so taboo.
This was all put in place after one meeting. Just one meeting. Is brilliant, actually, when you think of it that way. But we need to get rid of it now. It's time to go.
Yeah, I that's the thing. I mean, I've yet to see in any case on these holy wars where righteousness and the red, white, and blue, and we're all the standard. And I'm going, really? How many people have died because of this? How much blood is shed out on the battlefield?
You can look at this too, like from the beginning, back when we were ancient people, we were scratching these symbols on rock walls, like channeling these entities or scratching these symbols on it, rubbing blood into it, bringing their essence here to this reality. We didn't even have any written words. We didn't even understand language, right? Things began to be written and we began to read these words. And now we are all convinced that the only way that we know how to live this life is through the instruction of these written words that tell us what and how to do and how to think and how to live. We've forgotten what we already know. We know what to do. It's instinctually inside of us, how to live, how to survive, how to worship, how to do this. It's all there. But once we brought words and language and text into it, now we are led to believe that we have to follow that, right? We got to follow these words. Where did these words come from? I don't know, but like, yeah, there's a guidebook, right? But is that guidebook actually accurate? No, it's really not. Now, there is some nuggets of truth in everything.
Yes.
And I think that like we've just like literally like just put everything into that, and like that's always been there, right? No, it has not. It's not always been there. And it is something that,
well, it's like the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
That is a fallacy. It was never 10 commandments. At best, it was 10 symbols. But again, and this is what you look at this and you can see how craftedly this construct has been built. Because, that's what we define as morality. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, blah, 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 blah. But yet, and within every incident that I saw, what thou shalt not do, thou did.
Yeah, except for him, of course.
Yeah, it's like, well, do as I say, not as I do. Okay.
Heard that one a lot.
Yeah, and isn't it true?
Yeah.
So JD, a question that was asked, hey Trina, how you doing? And Chloe, everybody.
Hey,
What has been your most rewarding experience in working with the divine ones?
Oh,
and have one person asked, did they originate here on Earth or did they exist in another place and time? How did they get here?
Well, that's a great question too. I think that, of course, they exist where our consciousness exists, somewhere outside of this dimension. And that's a hard one to elaborate on, but have they always been here? I think so. But, do we all originate here? No, this is just our playground right now. And our consciousness, their consciousness exists wherever that is, which probably is really just what God is, that mother, that mother father consciousness, that divine feminine masculine conglomerate. I think they're all a part of that. They're all a part of us. If you really look at and you break it down, like personality traits and different ways of beingness, like they're a little speck of like everything that we are, and we're a little speck of everything that they are. And so it's all a big part of one thing, so to speak. I believe, but like the most rewarding thing for me is just to be like able to help other people like finally come to terms with the illusion of this reality and to be okay and comfortable with it, and to know that like that your soul is eternal. It can never be destroyed. You already hold the keys to eternal life. Absolutely, you do. And like this, what is happening right now is only a teeny little fraction of your overall existence and experience that is basically never ending. It will never end. This is going to be something, this is an adventure that your soul will grow from infinitely, and like this, this is not something that you have to hold on to and put every little speck of everything in. This is just a little piece of the whole big experience. And I think like once you realize that, that really helps you to traverse the limitations and to see that anything is possible. It actually is. those movies that you watch on TV that would be, wow, it would sure would be nice to have a life like that. It sure would be nice to live in a world like that. That is actually possible. Everything that we are living in now, the wars, the suffering, the poverty, all of that stuff can literally be eradicated from your reality and my reality, bringing the world here that we actually want and deserve to live in. That's happening. That's the world I'm going to be living in. And I hope that all of you get to come with me and experience that, because like all of that darkness that we're experiencing, that is a lie. It's not even real. It's not even actually
Bingo.
happening, really. It's not. It's not. And you can latch onto that if you want to and just put everything into that and just be miserable and suffer. But you don't have to, man. You don't. And like when you realize that and you just change your perspective and start focusing on the real, the truth, the good stuff in life, the people that you love, and taking care of them, taking care of yourself, loving this world, even the bad parts of it. But hey, you're going to usher in like the golden age, true, actual bliss. You can have it. Mm-hmm.
My spirit guide told me that there's been a reason why knowledge like this has been repressed. Knowledge like this has only been allocated to some of the virtual unknown mystery schools. There is a knowledge that's been highly protected because it does just that. It literally transforms the individual.
Yeah.
I recently, in one of my meditations, was told that the interesting thing about us is that when we transition to the other side, many of us will go on. And that's something that the divine ones, the angelics, envy about us, because they are where they are. For us, there are realms that haven't even been written about. They can't write about them because they've never been there. It's kind of what I was told. It's kind of the reward for going through this realm and being able to what we would call ascend. It's really just, we go to a place that's not even been written about.
And you know, like everyone that is here in this incarnation now, in this particular time, especially like in Earth's experience, you are a spiritual warrior. Do not misunderstand what you are, why you're here. And yes, you do have an extremely important mission to accomplish. What is your life? It is not haphazard. It is not bullcrap. It is precious and it is important. And that's why it's important that you embrace your birthright, that you do understand and come to grips and terms with who you actually are and not hide from it. Because like so many people, like you do have guides, you do have demons that are basically assigned to you. You made that decision, you made that choice. You may not know who they are and be familiar with them. And a lot of them working with you, giving you that prize, they're going to, like if your life has been very, very tough for a long time and you've gone through a lot of pain and suffering, that demon was trying to hide the truth of who you actually are from you to make you have to work to find out the truth. And that's the funny thing. They love you, but they're going to keep you dancing around, not knowing and discovering, making it hard for you. When you finally do discover who you are, they cheer for you and they say, right on, motherfucker, you figured it out. Despite my best efforts to keep you from finding the truth, you did it. You did it. You did it, buddy. And now guess what? This is your actual birthday. Now we're ready to do it. Now, since you know who you are, you know who I am now too, don't you? And we can do this together. We can party now, buddy. And so that is the gift. That's the gift of finding out who you are, of understanding, yeah, the pain, the suffering, all that crap. Yeah, it wasn't all for nothing. That was, you get where I'm coming from, and that's true.
You know what I'd like to do, because, you know, we've given time and recognition on the one side of these called angelics, but I don't think I know of a channel out there. There may be one. If you know of one, let me know. That I think that I would like to give them, the divine ones, the opportunity to come forth and allow us to get to know who and what they are.
Yeah,
Because they're
my buddy
foreign.
Ruric over here can definitely help with that. He is an amazing channeler.
Love. I'd love to have them on.
Yes.
And maybe we could do
Hey, can you
a
say
format
hi?
like this.
Can you say hi to you real quick? Come here.
Sure.
He's beautiful. I just want him to say hi to you. This guy is amazing. He's a good friend of mine. He's my brother. Come over here.
And his name?
And so I would love to have him to come on with you at some point and talk about these things, because he is amazing. This is Ruric Douglas. He is part of Lawless Metaphysics.
Welcome.
Yeah, come on in here, buddy.
Hey, I'll drop in real quick.
Yeah, here he is.
Welcome. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How about yourself, sir?
Doing as well. Exceptional. Thank you for coming in on such short notice on this. So as I was just saying to JD, is that the opportunity for the public, those who even say that they're awakened, etc. I would like to have it even on my channel, is an opportunity to get to know who these individual divine ones, the demons, if you want to. I think that it's almost kind of slang, but let's just call them for who they are. They're daemons.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, again, plenty of platforms out there where they'll tell you about Michael, Gabriel, and all the rest of those L's, but no one hears the other side of the L's.
This is true. This is something we're trying to spread awareness about, because like you said, not many people talk about it.
No.
So yeah, I'd love that opportunity. I think
people lost their heads for talking this kind of stuff.
Indeed.
Indeed. I mean, how dare you speak the truth, and that's why they want to silence us. It's exactly. And so my feeling is that fear is generated because of ignorance.
Mm. Yes.
And that's all it is.
Ignorance and indoctrination.
Yes.
I mean, think about it. Why do we feel the way we do about demons when you hear the word demon? Right? It's from Hollywood, it's from the church. If you think about it, you have no other point of reference other than that.
I mean, it's one of the things that when I was in the ministry, that if you wanted to really get your crowd riled up, talk about demons.
Yes.
And then talk about their influence. You're going to get? You're going to get a prayer line. You're going to get people coming up for salvation, and they open up their checkbooks.
Yep.
Because we got to fight this.
Oh yeah. You got to fight it, man.
Yeah. And I step back now and I look, but you never told me what he actually is doing, And I think that it's time that in all fairness, that we give voice to these magnificent beings. I mean, they're vilely hated for a reason. Yes.
Well, it can't stand up to everything that we have at our disposal right now, and that's the reason why. It's a
Do you
shame.
think that somewhat we're seeing today in the world, Jurgen, just a question for yourself, is that they're losing the grip on the narrative on this side?
Oh yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, and so they're going to play nasty, and that's why when Lilith visited me. Go ahead.
All these entities are just scapegoats for.
Yeah,
I was just wrapping that up. Yeah.
Well, she told me. She said, "I'm going to give you a platform," and I said, "All right, fine." I haven't, again, of all the encounters I've had, I haven't found fear to be part of the equation.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'll be candid with you. It's more curiosity.
That's really what projected me on my own path here. I actually came from a Christian background as well. And so what really launched me into doing what I'm doing now is just the pursuit of truth. I'm like, okay, who really are these entities and whatnot? Why are we here? What's the purpose? And that strive for truth has really landed me where I am now. And man, my world's just imploded.
Would you say your life is more enriched?
Indeed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel more, I mean, my perspective of the world has changed. My perspective on people has changed. My perspective on entities and the spiritual realm has changed. It's, I feel
How do
like
you
I
see
don't-
that now, Yerk? I'm curious. How do you
What's that?
see that the spiritual realm, where that realm and this realm interact? Because it's heavily controlled,
It
very
is.
valuable.
It is.
Yeah.
It's, and it's something that I think we all need to work towards. I mean, it's set in place for a reason. Like I was over in the background listening. He was dropping. But it's something we have to work towards. I mean, it's not given to you on a silver platter.
No.
There's that veil for a reason. You'll get what you seek after, so long as you seek it, right? But man, it'll change everything in your life, and it's so fundamental to your own being. And when you realize who you truly are, the purpose for you being here, etc., I mean, it'll change your whole perspective on everything. Any fear that you had, fear of death, etc., goes out the window.
Have you ever felt threatened in your encounters?
I haven't. I will say that there were times that I felt a little anxious. Actually, someone asked me that not that long ago in a live that I did. I actually had a lot more fear before I even got on this path, because I had paranormal experiences and stuff as a kid and whatnot, and I had fear. I had fear based on the preconceived notion of who they were, or who, any entity outside of Yahweh or whatever it was. And that fear was the unknown.
They're gonna come get me.
Yeah.
But once I finally made contact with these entities and found out who they are, I mean, my fear went out the window.
Would you subscribe to the thought, Uric and JD and Nina, is you as well? I found I had to make for myself, it was pretty much a public declaration. I mean, I made the contract in front of the public. And what I was told, it's that price that it's required to be able to enter into the unspoken realm.
Absolutely. It's a conscious decision that you're making. We have what I would call the psychic filter, which is basically energetic blockages that you've created, self-limiting beliefs and stuff like that, kind of like what you would call the inner critic that's been formed by authoritative figures, church members, etc., whatever you've been indoctrinated by. And that really clouds your judgment. It clouds who you're, how you view things, etc. And part of the struggle is peeling that back, obliterating that, and making that conscious decision. This is what I'm going to do. Helps. That really just puts that in the back seat, So yes, I think that's very important.
Well, I found it to be cleansing for myself.
Yeah.
And then I had to basically build from ground zero, because you carry with us, as you just mentioned, it's that fear.
Yeah.
I mean, Christianity is based on fear.
Absolutely. Well, that's
They want you to be afraid in every way, right? Because then they can control you and get you to do whatever they want you to do as long as you're afraid.
It's fear and control. And man, that goes deep. That really goes deep, that programming, because you question everything. I mean, you're afraid of anything and everything. I mean,
Didn't Paul write that it's a fearful thing to be in the presence of the Lord?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, you have to be.
Wait a minute, I thought this son of a bitch was there to love me and hug me. Now you're telling me what?
And then you're supposed to be guilty as well. You have to be guilty for all these little natural desires that you have. You got to feel guilty about
Repress yourself. Repress everything that you are.
And I will tell you that working with these infernal divine, there is no judgment. There is no judgment here. Remember that.
Well, they don't think like humans do. They think
they
see
good
things,
point.
They see things on a grander scale than we can possibly comprehend. I mean, no matter how hard we try, we can't even comprehend the entirety of the divine. They see things in a different light, and they want you to go in and look at every aspect of who you are. I mean, King Paimon also said, to become everything that you are, you have to be to become all that you are, you have to become everything that you are. And I know that sounds kind of redundant, But if you think about it, you have to go through every point of who you are, and really discover what lies deep beneath the psyche and everything. That introspective look you've always been looking for and wanting. They provide that, and they help that. And as far as what you were talking about with Yahweh being fearful and, or being, scared of everything,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, with these entities, I've never felt more loved.
Yes. Oh my God.
I mean, they are so compassionate,
Yep.
so loving, and, like a cheerleader, just like, yes, you got it. You're figuring it out. You're good.
Yeah.
It's, you feel it. That
It's
energy.
the whole total opposite, right? It's the whole opposite thing, dude. Like, who would have thought?
My yearning of my spirit is to, I want to do an interview with Lucifer.
Yeah.
And I don't see Lucifer as a he, I see it as she, but either way, to me, I can't think of a better gift to have as to be able to sit down with this being that has been accused of everything, yet at the same time, it carries all the knowledge. And I'm going, okay. I mean, but that would be my goal. I'd like to add something on this, and you gentlemen and Nina as well. I'd like to see, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to channel these infernal divine ones, as you say, GD? I love that. That is just really cool. I mean, listen, the way I look at it, the Bible was channeled. And, I've read Anton LaVey's book, The Satanic Bible. I've done a whole series on it here, read it word for word. And it still tells me that I get the knowledge, but it's always from a Kabbalistic perspective. Those are all roads that lead back to Yahweh. And there's my problem. And why I find the Liber Lilith was so refreshing. Lilith finally had to tell her story about who this character is. So I have a duty. I'm a god. I know that. I have a duty that if I have such knowledge of this side, then I have a duty to myself to understand the other side of that knowledge. Then I can make a decision.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it's A and B. I think there's C, D, E, and F. But that's just mine. So what I'd like to propose, gentlemen, is an opportunity to where there can be even a forum like this, or even individually, however, where there can be opportunities. If it's on your channels, just let me know of how we can begin to understand who these beings are. And I'm sure they would even make their presence known as to what they'd like to say.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he and I both like channel like no one's business. So especially this guy. So yes, we can definitely do that. And I know we're both interested in that. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What you just told me, and ladies and gentlemen, hey, Soul Tribe, everyone in the chat listening to this, you said something. They're not human. They don't think like us. They have a whole different perspective. And when you approach these beings, when you're approaching them in this vein, when you can't have any veins at all.
Yeah.
No boundaries on this.
They don't fit into your box.
Yeah. I mean, we're guests is the way how I look at this. And you have to be respectful, and that's just common sense.
And one of the things that I really love that I wanted to mention with this is like, not having human concepts, is that they do promote and allow you to begin to live your life without those limiting human beliefs and concepts and ways of acting, like pettiness and stuff, like in your relationships, and that little stupid argument crap that you always want to bring up and hold on to, that's real petty and real stupid and shallow. Like, they don't have time for that. And they remove those kind of bull crap ways of acting and being from your life, because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve the people you love. It doesn't serve this world at all, being a petty human dumbass. And like, they show you that. And like, no, live like this, baby. You don't need to act like that and act like a child, you know, and like a lot of us grown adults act like children, and they will, you know, no offense, but we do. And so they will help you to grow up and to get a pair and to also just treat people right, you know, and like, yeah, a lot of it is unorthodox sometimes, and it may not make logical sense, but if you lean into it, it feels right. And then you know that, oh, wow, yeah, I wasn't really in alignment with who I actually am spiritually. And that causes a lot of like pettiness and resentment and a lot of like human things that we really love to perpetuate. You can let go of all that stuff and operate in a whole entirely elevated way, you know?
I contend mankind doesn't know those ways. I mean, you look at today, virtually all the leaders in the United States government proclaim to be Christian.
Mm-hmm.
They serve a God that they do not understand, they do not know, but yet exhibit his traits. And all I see, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would say that there are probably a few in the government that do know who Yahweh is.
I would agree with you on that. Rephrase that statement. There's a vast majority of them, but the world leaders themselves proclaim allegiance to this God.
Mm-hmm.
Yet what we see in the world is pain, suffering. So don't tell me that Satan, Lucifer is this dark force, because by their very testimony, they're liars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're feeding that entity through the pain and the suffering and the war. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They are feeding their bullcrap God. Yeah,
I mean, just reading.
So if it's going to get to a showdown, then I say bring it on. But we got to know what the other side is about. Not through the constructs of Hollywood, not through the constructs of fiction. I think it's time that if there is ever a time, then this is that time where we can bring out this information unafraid, unfiltered, and say, all right, this is what the other side is about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen more adultery in churches than I ever saw in any satanic meeting.
I can tell you one thing right now: the people that are in our community, they don't hurt children, they don't molest people, they don't rape people, they don't murder people unjustly and hurt them and cause pain and suffering and all of this sick stuff, which you would think that's what we're doing, right? Because that's what they tell you we're doing. Yeah, that's a joke. And that is like, it hurts me, man. Like, do you know how many people come after us, calling us a lot of these horrible freaking things, that the things they're actually doing in reality that we have nothing to do with and stand against with everything that we are. But yet we get labeled that daily.
Yeah, I had someone tell me recently, they said, well, listen, those people back there in the, back in the Middle Ages and the Crusades, and they were ignorant, and that doesn't represent our God today.
Right.
And I'm going, but you built your church on the blood of our species,
of innocence, the blood of innocence.
Come on. I mean, I must have come from a long line of occultists. I don't know if this is my umpteenth time through, but apparently it says that you gravitate back to which you really are.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that Steiger that channeled that information from Lilith. That's you, brother.
Pretty heavy stuff, wasn't it? I mean,
it is heavy stuff, man.
Like,
you are the savior for your entire bloodline, all the way back. What do you think about that one? You are actually Jesus Christ for your bloodline and your people. All of us are. That's a real deep one.
I'm
hard one to freaking digest.
Yeah,
Abaddon will show you.
It's like, I was like, come on, man. Let's get this thing done.
A lot of responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility and a lot of energy to have to contend with. But that is what our ancestors and our bloodline are counting on. They chose us to be here right now for all of this. Yes.
It's a tough road, but it's worth it.
The interesting thing is that they just announced a mothership hovering over whatever it is. Well,
Whoa.
that is going to be the beginning of the end of the Vatican, because now they cannot no longer uphold the story.
Yeah, dude. I
Oh,
called that one on TikTok about 6 weeks ago or so, and I told everyone that it's coming. The truth is getting ready to be revealed, and it's going to blow the roof off of the entire Western world. I mean, the entire world in general.
Yep.
What's going on in the basement and what's been happening, we don't even have the slightest clue, actually, but you're getting ready to find out. There is something that is housed down there that is about to, a
lot of things down there that's going to be very, very interesting. Their skeletons are literally going to be coming out of the closet.
Well, I'll bring the Mandela effect. It's like, Lucy, you got a lot of freaking explaining to do.
Right. Yes.
You've been seeing Jose, eh? You know, it's like, oh man, this hour went by like that. I would really, I'd like to really make this a reality. I'd like to be able to bring out that type of information that allows us to have this group particularly, and maybe others, who knows, that where they can begin to have an understanding of who these divine ones are. Let us know their names. Let us know. I mean, I've got a deck of cards over here that can tell you all the angelic names. They got to have brothers and sisters. I mean, I'd love to meet them. In fact, I have a feeling that these people know how to party.
Yes.
That's all I got to say.
A whole lot more fun, Wayne.
In the right way.
Yeah. Well, they visit. I know there are a lot of them visit me and say they even want to pay admission to get inside my head. But it's like,
that's awesome.
All right, folks. I hope you really have enjoyed this. We're going to make this happen. So,
yes.
Both you're and JD and Nina, since you were here at the birth of this, because every idea that's giving birth becomes its own egregore. Then I'd like to continue that energy in building a knowledge. That's what we're here to do. So if we do it once a week, if we do it, every other week, if we pre-record it, whatever, but I'd like to really make that happen. And
that would be great.
Well, then you have an open invitation.
Hey.
All right. All right, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, it's not your run-of-the-mill, type of information. But hey, listen. The only thing we have fear, isn't that what Churchill said? The only thing we have fear is to fear itself. So quit being afraid. Grow a set. You're either on top or on the bottom. I don't care. But wear it proud, say it loud, and get to know who the opposition is.
Absolutely.
They might be your best friend.
Yeah. You can't make informed decisions if you don't have all the information.
I mean, the other side, I know a lot of y'all in some really tough situations. They don't seem to be wanting to offer any help. I mean,
no.
That's all I got to say. All right. Thank you all to speak favor over us all and stick with us. And before we get out, Nina, you start, and then JD and Yurk, I'll let y'all end up, and go ahead and take a couple of minutes, Nina.
Yeah, well, it is hump day. So, of course, I will be going live tonight, 6:00 Pacific time zone, for a free message from Spirit. So go and check that out. And then I go live on Sundays as well, 6:00 Pacific every week. So go and check it out. Links down in the description.
Excellent. Nina, I'm going to have you back on because we got some ground to be talking. That's all I got to say. JD and Yurk, thank you for number one, Yurk stepping in.
Yes. And I gave it, so it's Ruric R.
Ruric.
R-I-C.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ruric Douglas.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
It may stick. You never know.
So my channel on YouTube is called From the Light of the Darkness, and it says JD Temple 444 beside it. I just added that, but it's From the Light of the Darkness. And my TikTok is JD Temple 444. I'm growing like crazy over there, and I didn't ever plan on doing that, but it is just something that's happening, and I'm rolling with it. Now, if anyone wants to if you are interested in this path, and if you are really wanting to connect with these infernal divine, J.S. Garrett, our other brother he's with his girlfriend right now, and Ruric and myself, we are doing a massive group ritual tonight. It's actually tonight. We've been planning this and promoting it for a while now, and this involves 4 infernal divines: Abaddon, Azazel, Belial, and Asmodeus. Those 4 entities are coming together. Now, there we are offering them spiritual sacrifices. We practice in the way that the Ancients One did, with burnt offerings. It is powerful and it is important. There is no evil going on here. This is ancient technology that we are putting into practice. I also use my own intimate offering along with these sacrificial offerings that we are making to these entities. All 4 of them bring very specific gifts to you in and of themselves. But when you bring all 4 of those energies together, along with the planetary alignments and conjunctions that are happening right now with Aries, with Mars, with Chiron, Saturn's a little in there a little bit too, but basically it's all about like giving you that eye of the tiger, that freaking to go out there and really live life, and to like remove a lot of these limitations and clutter that's going on, not only in your head, but in your aura, in your spirit. That is all going to be washed away and allow you to actually begin a true path, a true spiritual path. And if you want to sign up for that, go to lawlessmetaphysics.com. You can get your seat there. There's a lot of additional things as well. This will change your life. I'm not even going to try to sell you anything because I don't need to. Okay, lawlessmetaphysics.com, Lawless Metaphysics on YouTube, which is his channel, and J.S. Garrett's channel, which you can see the banner behind me. You can check that out as well. My website is jdtemple.info. I do have limited services there. Most of my services are not on my website. You've got to email me to inquire. I can really help you with just about anything you want, from divination to ritual services, healing, channeling, oracle and tarot, you name it. I got you covered. jdtemple.info. My email is jdtemple.info@gmail.com. And Ruric, he'll tell you too, all about his things as well. Yeah.
Well, I think you pretty much covered it. lawlessmetaphysics.com.
Yeah.
You find out more information there.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Well,
actually,
go
Ruric
ahead.
will be doing some channeling tonight too, as well. So if you're interested in channeling, signing up for that, right, and then getting him to do some private channeling from these beings, there's an opportunity tonight. So just throw that in there.
Indeed. Thinking
Yes,
of it.
thank
This
you.
is cool,
Yeah.
folks. This is cool.
Mhm.
This is a new pastors. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. I mean, you know, people like being in one part of the woods, but then when you walk to the clearing, you're going, this is different. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Wayne, you know, if it's okay with you, and you can discuss this later if you'd like, I would like to include you in this as a honorary guest, my guest. I choose one person every single time to include them without having to make any type of exchange. This exchange right here, and you allowing us to come and share this time with you, that is all I need. And I would love to include you in that.
Well, thank you.
If like the video, it's something else, brother. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if I can attend tonight one, but that is, y'all just,
You just let me know. There's no.
all right, that you just, it humbles me.
Relax and go to sleep is all you have to do. We'll take.
Okay. All right. Then far out. I mean, it's like,
Awesome.
you know, I'm all for it.
Cool, man.
Wow. We could literally, and now it's 11111 across the board. So, don't tell me they're not
11 here.
listening.
So there you go.
Yeah. So, all right.
It's all divinely guided.
That's all I got to
Yeah.
say. It's like, all right, I like this. All right. Well, much love, everybody. Hey, spread the love. That's the idea.
Oh, yeah.
There's a world of darkness, and we can show that the world, there's a different light.
Mhm.
And it's one that is healing. It's one that does bring unity. It doesn't have to be under this one. So that's all I got to say. Much love, everyone. Y'all stay with me as I exit out of this. All right.
Okay.
Mhm.